disaster. So just like Archetypes, this goes down as another one series flop because Meghan can't commit to a single thing. And do you see what I mean about the spin there, Angela? All of this spin about this was my choice and everyone wanted another series. No, they didn't.
She's in a terrible state, actually, I think. I mean, if you look at her, she's constantly doing like this all over the place. I think she's so nervous that she's actually just saying what the first thing is in her head and sort of trying to make herself look a completely different woman from what she is. I mean, what she said was ridiculous, that she was stopping the tea and the jam because she thought it wasn't fair that they would have to wait for them. Well, what sense is that? What rubbish is that? Get another load and then they'll have it. But she's worried that if another load comes, it'll all go very, very quickly. So she can't do that. That's ridiculous. And also that she decides she's going to be worldwide. She's going to be so wonderful. Did you read that? Did you hear that bit? Without any sort of explanation.
Well, we're going to come to that later, actually.
Okay, sorry.
But no, you're right to point out, though, Angela, the fact that there is no strategy here, and the strategy just seems to be blind arrogance.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
And it's easy to do, isn't it, when it's not your cash? It's easy to do when you're relying on your husband's tens of millions of dollars.
She's speaking like a panic. It's actually very fast, very nonsensical, and just desperate that she gives a good impression because she made a very bad one last time. And so she's trying to get better than that. But Emma's very calm. She's not jumping up and down. And I think she's getting more and more hysterical, really. I mean, when you're talking to somebody like that, you look at them, don't you? You're not sort of help me, look out. You know, it's just a strange way of behaving.
Yeah, there's blind confidence, isn't there? There's blind confidence, but no actual engagement. And what's hilarious, and the thing is, I think Emma Grede, even though she's British, is doing that American thing because she's very American type person now of just throwing out constant compliments. But in just 1 minute, Angela, I want to show you what happens when Meghan compares herself to Martha Stewart, who can't stand her, and Gwyneth Paltrow. It's quite something, so don't go anywhere because we'll bring you that in just 1 minute. But first, if you're anything like me, you have spent so much time trying to find the perfect skincare treatments for your face, only to realise you've been neglecting this part of your body, the skin on your neck. And as I've got older, especially when I've been out in the sun on holiday, I've noticed that is a massive oversight because the neck is on display all the time, yet so many folk treat it as an afterthought in their routine. Now, I fell into that trap, and so many women in the outspoken audience will know that the skin on your neck is thinner, more delicate, and less oily than facial skin, which means it requires specialized care. So that's why I was completely blown away when I received my Go Pure Tighten and Lift Neck Cream, a product which is transforming the necks of women and some men like me all across the globe. So many of you have spoken to me about this brilliant product. I mean, it is gorgeous, actually. I saw a noticeable difference within weeks. I absolutely love the scent. I love the smoothness of it. I love the packaging. Seriously, it's just a joy to use every single day. And it can actually become a game changer within weeks. Because before I tell you about that, actually, let me just tell you about the discount first, because we've got a great discount today. Outspoken viewers and listeners get 25% off Go Pure using the code DAN, D-A-N, at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com/Dan, use the code DAN, and you're all set. But Go Pure's proprietary firming complex is designed to visibly firm and smooth the skin on your neck and chest in as little as 4 to 8 weeks. In a consumer study, 100% of users said their skin looked more supple and 97% noticed a firmer appearance. Indeed, Go Pure's full line of science-backed skin and body care have delivered for over 100,000 real women with real results. It's dermatologist recommended, cruelty-free, plus with over 1 million gels sold, I don't really think we can call this a beauty secret anymore because so many people are feeling the incredible benefits. So tighten, lift, and restore elasticity in your neck because your skincare routine shouldn't stop at your jawline. For a limited time, Outspoken viewers and listeners get 25% off Go Pure using the code DAN, that's DAN, at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com/Dan. Use the code DAN and you're all set. And by the way, after you buy, do me a favor. When they ask where you heard about Go Pure, please tell them that it was after watching this episode of Outspoken. But now, back to the show. So, Meghan Markle really genuinely does believe. She genuinely does believe, after this flop business, Angela Levin, that she is now on the same level as the doyens of lifestyle brands, Martha Stewart and Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, when Emma Grady asked this question, I think there was one response. It should have been, she should show some humility. You know, I'm not even close. But the thing is, humility and Meghan Markle just don't go hand in hand. Watch.
Any comparisons right now, right? It's like people are saying you're the next Martha Stewart, you're the next Gwyneth Paltrow. So 2 questions. How do you feel about that? But also, what's going to set this brand apart? Because you're in a very, very different time right now. It's a different culture. I think consumers are super, super wise. So, you know, I want to ask you those 2 things. How do you feel about it?
I think that's very flattering. Those are incredibly successful businesswomen. So I don't take that lightly. That means a lot if there's any comparison made in that regard.
There's not.
And I also think it was really important to me. I remember where I come from, right? So I knew that I wanted things to be reflected in the same way that I put an outfit together for years, high-low. I knew I wanted this brand to be masstige, and to come out of the gate with something luxury didn't make sense to me. So the price point itself, nearly everything being under $20, was key. I think that's a differentiator. Never sacrificing on quality. Being engaging in a customer service manner, I think, is really important. But also, you know, the show reflects the spirit of what I ultimately want to put out in the world. And though they're not the same thing, and by design, look, the show and the brand are not named the same thing.
Yeah. Smart, by the way.
No, they're just not. They complement each other. They can talk in the same conversation, but they are not the same. And so knowing that I have a vehicle to be able to share the things that I love to do, and then a place where you can go and buy them if you don't want to necessarily make them on your own, feels like a very smart way to do the full and complete storytelling of what I'm after. So, you know, I feel flattered by the comparisons, and I feel excited that I'm sharing things that are important to me and how I would do things in my own home, and that I hope people translate that to theirs.
I mean, lots of mumbo jumbo there, Angela, but the point is she's no Gwyneth Paltrow, she's no Martha Stewart, because if you think about Martha Stewart, she's just a walking, talking brand. If you think about Gwyneth Paltrow, it's all about goop. With Meghan, this was American Riviera Orchard, then all of a sudden it wasn't, then it was With Love Meghan, now it's As Ever. When the show launched, there was no product on sale anyway. To try and present this as a success story, to me, it just shows how delusional Meghan believes that we are, how stupid she believes we are. We're not buying this.
I agree with that. I mean, she does. She thinks everybody's stupid, and she's got it right. She can, you know, make us look foolish. But when she says that she wanted to bring out things into the world, it's as if she's actually going to save us. This is some middle-aged woman who wants to sell a few things that you can eat or drink, which is reasonably packaged, and also tell lots of her friends how marvellous she is, and that she's not the least bit interested in what they're saying. This is not some special sort of religious thing that she's going to put out into the world, that she's going to change the world because we're going to have different sort of jam. I mean, it is beyond belief, isn't it? Absolutely beyond belief. Why can she say that? You know, if you're making something like that, you're making it for someone to eat or to try something different, but it's nothing to do with the world. She's not the sort of person who can actually move and help and the world. But she thinks she does. That's a very keen sentence on her wanting to be head of the world. And this, I think, goes back to the royal family when she was furious that she didn't know that she would be next in line to the late Queen Elizabeth, and she threw a few tantrums. Harry was trying to calm her down and spoke to his mother, can you get her in there? And she's marvellous. She's much better than anyone else because she's made herself, you see. And she wants to be head of the world. Now, this is something that she's still hanging on to 4 years or 5 years later when she left the UK and came out to America. But it is just really crazy.
Yeah, and you get an insight, Angela, into why she was so impossible to work with when she was in the royal family. And I actually feel a little bit sorry for the team at Netflix. I mean, I don't feel sorry for Ted Sarandos, the chief executive of Netflix, who has engineered this whole insane arrangement. But during this interview, Meghan actually is so craven in terms of that relationship. Rather than thanking them and saying it's a collaboration, they have saved me. You know, I was axed by Spotify. Everything else failed. Netflix have saved me despite a succession of flops. There's instead this real front of Meghan making it clear that this is her way or the highway. And she claims that's even written into her contract. Watch.
Yeah. And where are the lines? Like, what are you doing versus what are they doing? Because I imagine, especially when it's something that's so close to your heart and something that you clearly take a lot of pride in, how are you able to make sure that the product is what you want it to be, the brand is what you want it to be? Because there's a lot of compromise when it comes to partnerships. And I say this to founders all the time, right? When you give something, you have to imagine that something's coming back. And so what does that partnership actually look like right now?
Well, I think at the end of the day, what I appreciate is in the contract, they understand that this is my vision. Mm-hmm. It's my vision. And also the success of the brand, I believe, is rooted in the fact that you can feel when I am involved in something. And so because I have been in this state of ideation of what I wanted to have as an offering for so long, the fact that they trust my final judgment is great on what I want to put out there.
I mean, it's also insane. It's insane that you're trusting her judgment, Ted Sarandos. This is the problem, though. Netflix has money to waste. And as Angela mentioned earlier, Meghan also reveals that she's now taking the brand global.
Appliance is different globally when we get into that market, which we will.
You're going global.
How can we not?
I mean, how can you not?
Yeah, but it's the spirit of sharing. I don't want to just share it here. I want to share it.
And it's better for the P&L.
We're happy.
Well, there is that, Meghan.
Yes, that's true. And in the spirit of sharing. But I think, look, at the end of the day, if I had gone into beauty, for example, and I have a lot of...
Was that a consideration at any point for you?
It was definitely something that people were asking me to get involved with. I mean, in these past
Did you have any inclination where you're like, this could be fun?
I think it can be fun.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be a time for that. I think there'll certainly be a time for fashion. You and I can talk about that later. But I think, ultimately, I wanted to do what felt authentic, but I also recognize that, yes, there are variables that you don't have to think about.
Oh, Angela, I mean, I'm more than happy without her jam in the United Kingdom. Thank you very much.
How can you manage? I'll be this
fine.
whole thing that, my vision, when she's lost each time, it's not worked. It's no good. Nothing she's done is any good. So how can she say everybody understands my vision and they can feel it? This is a very sort of strange comment to make, isn't it? That people are so wary of her that she has a sort of mysterious lamp around her that she's actually will lighten up everything she's saying. I mean, it's most peculiar. This is very revealing, actually, that she's ridiculous, that she thinks of herself so highly that everybody has to understand that she's the one who's making the choice because she is brilliant. She's the one who's going to save the world with her jam and other means of I don't know what other means she's got. Not very much.
Well, we know actually,
special.
Angela, what's coming. don't we? We know what's coming, and it is the pimping out of the children. This is the next big focus. So we saw it over the weekend. I was away, but we saw it over the weekend with the Father's Day Instagram video. Now, you'll see here, Angela, this was the closest that she's come to yet in terms of going back to full reveals of the faces of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. There are so many discrepancies, by the way, in this video in terms of how they look. But it's very, very clear that she does, and I'll play you something that backs up what I'm about to say in just a moment, Angela, but it's very, very clear that she sees these two children not as little people who need to be protected, but as money makers, which is so grim, but it's sort of the Kardashian, Beckham celebrity way of being these days. I hate it. I hate it.
So do I. And I think it's very dreadful because if you can do something and you put your children in to do the same thing when they are older, past their teenage years, that actually they find that they're hopeless. They don't know how to do it. They don't want to do
I mean,
it.
look at Justin
What else
Bieber
can they
right
do?
now. Look at Britney Spears right now. You know, there's a reason why it's very important that you don't become famous, in my opinion, until you're over 18, because they say, Angela, that when you become famous, your brain stays at that level. And that's why Catherine and William, for example, have been so careful in terms of the protection of their children. But in this interview, Meghan admits that she's annoyed that her children's clothing are helping other brands and that she's not getting the affiliate sales back as a result, which is just such a bizarre thing to even think about, let alone put out into the world. Watch this.
You get comfortable, basically.
You get comfortable.
You get
to be an
comfortable.
acceptance of what is.
Yeah, no, completely. But I also think it's really amazing that you can participate in that now, because after a while it can